this is a ghost. Those guys have been the best money making method in the whole game for months, despite only requiring around 300 million coins to start. In this video, I will teach you all the information you will need to know in order to start doing ghost. This is the ultimate guide for every stage of the game. Let's begin. You will start with the early game. While it's really possible to use Mastiff Armor together with a Push Sword to become essentially unkillable while doing Ghost, the actual money won't be any spectacular. The majority of damage using that setup comes from Talisman and skills, which you won't have on a high level when only starting out. That's why you will have difficulties even killing Ghost, not to mention being efficient. Let's say you dedicated a couple of weeks to mining and managed to acquire a budget of about 300 million coins. Here is what you would spend it on. A Tarantula helmet, 3 Forts Crimson armor, a Sword of Bad Health, a Weird Tuba, a Mithril Golem, a tier 6 Emerald Blade, as well as every other talisman from the list. Play my choices a bit. Crimson is a very good armor, especially if you don't have access to Necron armor. But the main point is the ability, which makes it even better than Necron for us. When on a kill streak, our attack will deal damage twice. An important thing to remember is that the second attack won't have bonus damage by first strike. You will need to deal between 600 and 700,000 damage in order to actually one-shot them. When using an ability of the Sword of the Bad Health, you will get 100 strength. Same with the Weird Tuba. When not having access to a Golden Dragon, a Mithril Golem is the best thing you can get to grind gold. It's cheap and the damage is comparable with a Golden Dragon. Now for mid-game. Not much changes other than you striving to have more magic find. First thing that you should buy with the money from Ghost are enrichments. They are very cheap and give a lot of magic find. It's important to remember that you should buy the cheapest enrichment and then use an enrichment swapper to make them all magic find. After that, you should recombobulate all your legendary talisman into mythics, because that gives you the most magic power. Then you should recombobulate your talismans to legendary and then enrichment. Later, I would advise buying 2 pieces of maxed out Sorrow gear and start saving up money for a Golden Dragon. While you are saving up more and more money, your damage goes up because of Emerald Blade. That's why you can swap your armor pieces to Sorrow ones to get more magic finds once you have enough damage. One tip from me. To speed up this whole process, you should consider asking either a guild member or a friend to level up their G-Drag for free, as it boosts your damage and your magic finds significantly. After getting a Golden Dragon, you should keep as much money as possible to increase your damage thanks to having more and more money in your purse or in your bank until you are able to afford a tier 7 maxed out Emerald Blade like this one. This should set you back around 500 million, but it is well worth it since you will be using it until you can afford a Chimera 5 Claymore. After that, you should again save up the money until you can deal more than 1 million damage while wearing 2 or more Sorrow pieces. A good move at that point would be getting Wolf level 8, which allows you to use the Wolf Potion Mixing, giving you yet another 7 magic find. The only thing that's left to buy at this point is a couple of talisman and recombobulators to finish up your talisman bag. After all of those purchases, you have pretty much the best setup possible. But now, let's get into the strategy. As you might have noticed, the Hypixel admins changed Ghost in May of this year so that they only attack you after a few seconds, which makes it basically impossible to bring them together and use a Soul Whip to kill them. However, this change has caused the price of Sorrow to go from 300k to 500k, while the more efficient strategy was not changed. So now, all you have to do is run around and melee every single ghost with decent damage, like this random person I found in a lobby. Speed is one of the most important factors to kill ghosts, so you should avoid using items such as a Warden helmet, which cuts your speed in half. Another thing that you shouldn't do is putting one for all on your weapon. There are several useful enchants that are essential to maximize the profit and combat experience. You should definitely use the following enchants on your sword. Looting, which will increase the drop rates of Sorrow and other mob drops by up to 75% at the highest tier. Scavenger, which is an insane enchant for Ghost because it gives you coins per mob kill, and as you are killing several thousand mobs, you can get up to 4 million coins per hour just from Scavenger. Cubism, an insane enchant that a lot of people actually forget about. You can get up to 80% more damage at level 6. Prosecute makes you deal more damage the higher the mob health is, making it way better than Execute for one-shotting. Champion, Siphon, and Vampirism. There isn't much to say about the last two. They will keep you alive as you are grinding Ghost. And Champion is a new enchant which gives you free 10% more combat experience. For ultimate enchants there are only two options, Chimera and Soul Eater. Soul Eater is very cheap and provides a lot of damage since Ghosts have a lot of strength, which is why it's used in every setup excluding endgame people using Chimera for more magic find. Chimera on the other hand is very expensive with a price tag of 1.6 billion coins for the tier 5 enchant, but it's extremely useful to get since it provides a lot of damage and magic find. I suggest you only go for a Chimera weapon if you have enough money to buy either a Chimera 4 or a Chimera 5, otherwise just stick to Soul Eater. Next step will be getting the optimal reforges for your armor, talisman and your weapon. The armor reforge depends on which set of armor are you wearing. If you are struggling with dealing damage, I would advise you to wear Crimson and put Enchant on it. However, if you do deal enough damage, consider swapping out a Crimson piece for a piece of Sorrow armor with the Renowned reforge on it. This reforge isn't that great damage wise, but it has the ability to increase your stats by 1%, which also includes magic find. This might not seem like much, but it actually makes a huge difference once you have a lot of magic find. With talisman reforges, you want to optimize your strength and crit damage for them to be as close as possible to one another. You should either use Hurtful or Silky, depending on what your needs are. Last but not least, we have their weapon reforges, with Fabled and Withered being the useful ones. Fabled is the best reforge outside of dungeons, even if your kata level is decent. The problem is that the damage is very inconsistent. With Withered on your sword, your damage won't change, but you have to sacrifice a little bit of damage. For our situation, it's way better to have consistent damage. That's why Withered is the best option. Now that you know everything you need to, it's my time to go. Bye!